Thank you. Good afternoon. One of the most extraordinary things about this September heatwave is just how long it is lasting. Over the last few days, we've seen temperatures above 30 Celsius. It looks like we've just touched 30 degrees today now. That makes it the longest run of September days above 30 degrees on record. We could get to 32 this afternoon, and the hot weather continues for another couple of days yet. But there is one big exception close to some eastern coast. That was the scene in North Berwick for a weather watcher earlier on. And as we move into Sunday, well, our area of high pressure that has been with us, it tends to retreat eastwards. And in quite a haphazard fashion, we see various weather systems starting to swarm from the west. Some showers and thunderstorms sweeping eastwards, leaving us with something much, much cooler into the start of next week.
Good afternoon. It is another exceptionally warm day for London. Temperatures this afternoon expected to get up to around 31 Celsius. It's hot and it's humid. Now, this was first thing this morning, very vibrant colours. We still had a little bit of the Saharan dust in the atmosphere, but that is drifting away now. We've got clearer skies, very little in the way of cloud to speak of. And like I said, temperatures getting very warm. Now, there's also very little wind around this afternoon.
The current weather pattern, and it actually does have a name. It's called the Omega block, and it's when the jet stream makes a shape that you can see on screen now, which is very similar to the Greek alphabet letter omega. The block bit comes from the blocking pattern which it causes, where you have two areas of low pressure sandwiching an area of high pressure, which is currently over us at the moment. High pressure is associated with settled warm conditions, and we have a strong feed of warm air coming up from the near continent. But on the left and right, we have areas of low pressure which bring unsettled weather, and that is why we have seen flooding a few days ago in Spain, and while we're seeing flooding developing in Greece with more torrential rain to come.
Hello again. Well, it really has been another scorcher of a day out there. Temperatures exceeding 30 degrees Celsius once again, very much in heatwave territory. Plenty more hot and sunny weather over the next few days, but through the course of the weekend and into next week, an increasing risk of some more unsettled conditions heading our way. So this is the current setup. We have low pressure to the west, high pressure to the east. In between, we're drawing up southerly winds, dragging in that hot air, and that remains the case as we head through tomorrow and into Saturday as well.
It's warm here. Stav Danaeus is here with us now. More weather records tumbling.
Yeah, indeed, Sophie. We've already seen the hottest day of the year so far today. 32.6 Celsius reached at Wisley in Surrey. So that rounds up to 33 degrees. In a September heatwave, which in its own right is a record, as Sophie just said. We have now seen more than 3 days, consecutive days of 30 Celsius and above. And we've even got temperatures perhaps reaching close to the mid-30s as we head into the weekend. So this is an exceptional heatwave for the time of year. Again, 31 degrees, but you'll notice the temperatures coming down across Scotland and Northern Ireland, coming down closer to what they should be. So these values into next week are what we expect this time of year, but it will feel a lot cooler and fresher. Eventually, the heat breaks in the southeast and we see sunshine and showers. Back to you, Sophie.
It's been a record-breaking week, weather-wise, Stav.
Indeed, it has. Yes, Assad, we've seen a consecutive 30 Celsius. We've broken the 3 consecutive 30 Celsius, which means we've now seen this heatwave being a record September heatwave. And in fact, we saw today 32.6 Celsius at Wisley in Surrey, making it the hottest day of the year so far. So it's a double whammy. And for the rest of this week, for our patch, certainly is going to remain hot, dry and sunny. Increasing chance of thunderstorms maybe later in the weekend, but even then it's going to stay mostly dry. Going for Saturday, potentially being the hottest day of this September heatwave. We could be up to around 32, 33 Celsius, again, around the city centre. We'll have to watch this spot. It could even be a little bit higher. Staying very humid into the start of the new week, but then from Monday onwards, it'll turn cooler. Temperatures returning back to normal with some showers, maybe some thunderstorms. That's that.
Yeah, but some hot days ahead. Thanks very much for that, Stav. Thank you.
Hello. We've waited until September for it, but provisionally today has been the warmest day of the year so far, with temperatures getting quite close to 33 Celsius. It continues a long run of hot days. In fact, the longest run of September days with temperatures above 30 degrees on record. And it looks set to continue at least for another couple of days. But there were exceptions. This was Edinburgh earlier on this afternoon with a lot of cloud overhead. And into next week, it does turn markedly cooler for all of us, and there will be some outbreaks of rain at times. Temperatures closer to where they should be at this point in September.
And Alex is at an inland surfing centre in Bristol for us tonight. Alex.
Good evening, Charlene. Yes, I'm at the Wave in Bristol, which was the first inland surf centre of its kind when it opened back in 2019. And at the touch of a button, they can control the difficulty of the waves. And it has been a pretty good day here, but it has been very hot and humid. And anyone that thought they were coming here for a dip in the water to try and keep cool may have been unpleasantly surprised, because the water is currently warmer than the Mediterranean. It's sitting at 24.2 degrees Celsius. The warmest it has ever got to is 28. And with the days and the nights staying warm over the next few days, there is a possibility they think that they could actually beat that record. As for the next few days, well, let's take a look at the temperatures. And as we know, today was the warmest day of the year so far. Wisley, 32.6 degrees Celsius. And as we head through into the weekend, it will stay up at around 30. And if we get to 30 degrees tomorrow, that will beat the record for consecutive days in September when we reach over 30 degrees Celsius. Right, let's take a look at the details right now. Well, as we head through into the weekend, it will be staying pretty settled over the next few days with plenty more warm sunshine, hot temperatures. But as we get into the weekend, we will start to pull in the risk of some thundery downpour developing, particularly through the daytime on Sunday. Well, that's the way it is looking here in Bristol this evening. Very warm and comfortable for sleeping, Charlene. Hopefully we get some relief as we head into next week.
Oh, we shall see. Alex, thanks very much.